Without this measure, we allow fear to become a business strategy. Without this measure, we allow harassment to become normalized. Without this measure, we tell victims that their suffering is simply the cost.
Senator Joel Villanueva is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, distinguished Majority Leader. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, today, this representation rises to sponsor a measure that addresses one of the most silent yet devastating forms of abuse suffered by many of our people: unfair, abusive, and predatory debt collection practices, particularly those committed by certain lending companies and online lending applications, or OLAs. Mr. President, this representation has the honor to sponsor Senate Bill number 1744 under Committee Report number 26, otherwise known as the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, a measure that draws a clear line between lawful collection and abuse and restores fairness and accountability in the lending industry. We also wish to express our gratitude to the authors and co-sponsors of this measure, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, and Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Their vision and declaration in crafting legislation that protects the vulnerable have been invaluable. This bill is not merely about regulating loans, Mr. President, nor debt collection practices. It is about protecting human dignity. It is about telling every Filipino borrower, especially the working class, the vulnerable, and the desperate, that the law stands with them even at their most difficult moment. Mr. President, let me say this clearly at the outset. Ang utang ay obligasyon, pero hindi po ito kasalanan. At lalong hindi ito dahilan upang yurakan ang pagkatao ng iba. Sa halip po na tulungan ang nangangailangan, ang gipit ay lalong ginigipit. Sa halip na maging tulay sa pagbangon, pinagkakaitan ang paghihirap ng sariling kababayan. In recent months, Mr. President, through our work here in the Senate, a deeply troubling reality has come to light. Thousands of Filipinos, delivery riders, call center agents, teachers, market vendors, and single parents have been subjected to systemic harassment, intimidation, and psychological abuse simply because they borrowed small amounts of money to survive. Ang ilan po sa kanila ay naririto sa aking likuran, Ginoong Pangulo. They are treated like criminals, hunted, shamed, and threatened, when in truth, they are ordinary citizens, Mr. President, who simply borrowed money to meet basic needs. Even more disturbing is that many are subjected to harassment even before they miss their actual due date, simply because a loan advertised as payable in 120 to 180 days is arbitrarily shortened to a mere 7 days. From August 2024 to January 2026, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission received 47,144 complaints against abusive online lending applications. The National Privacy Commission, meanwhile, received 2,244 complaints against OLAs from 2018 to 2025, most involving unauthorized access, misuse, and disclosure of personal data. Mr. President, please allow me to add this. Our office here in the Senate has been receiving hundreds of emails a day, desperate pleas for help from victims of OLA harassment. Even regulatory data confirms the magnitude of the problem. In fact, Mr. President, from January to September 2025, the Securities and Exchange Commission acted on 5,415 public complaints involving financing companies, lending companies, and their online platforms. Of these, 68% involved unfair debt collection practices or collection harassment. Mr. President, this tells us that the abuse is widespread. But we all know that these numbers only reflect those who had the courage or the capacity to complain. Marami pa rin po, Ginoong Pangulo, ang tahimik na nagdurusa. Marami pa rin po ang patuloy na inaabuso. What did we uncover, Mr. President? Not only in our hearing, but also from the first-hand accounts of the victims themselves. Let me talk about deceptive and unconscionable loan terms. Borrowers are lured by advertisements promising easy approval and long repayment periods. Some advertise as lasting 120 to 180 days. But once the loan is released, they discover that one, a large portion of the loan is deducted upfront as so-called service, processing, or management fees. Two, the actual amount received is far lower than the amount that they are required to repay. And lastly, interest rates are imposed at outrageous levels, sometimes computed on a daily basis, Mr. President. One OLA was found to be charging an interest rate as high as 7% per day. Yes, Mr. President, 7% per day, not per month, not per year. And at that rate, Mr. President, a small loan can double or even triple in a matter of days. In one documented case, a borrower applied for 22,000 pesos, received only 16,000 pesos, and was demanded to pay 40,000 pesos within just 2 weeks. Mahigit doble po agad ang ibabalik niya, Ginoong Pangulo. This is not just excessive, it is exploitative. Ang gipit ay lalo pang ginigipit. But what truly shocked this representation, Mr. President, was the nature of the collection practices themselves. At this point, I ask the indulgence of this august chamber, as some of the language I'm about to quote is disturbing and involves threats of harm and even death. Ito po ang ilan lamang sa mga ipinadala ng mga biktima sa ating opisina. Babaragin ko na lang buong pamilya mo. Ibabalandra ko sila isa-isa. Bibigyan ko sila ng kahihiyan sa utang mo. Hindi ko yan titigilan hanggang hindi ka nagbabayad. Lalo na sa trabaho mo, ipapahiya ko yung pinapasukan mo. Wala ka ng pamilya sa gagawin ko. Another example, Mr. President, magdanakaw ka na, sisikat ka pa at gagawin kong malaswang video mo. Ako ang magpapakalat at sisira ng buhay mo hanggang mamahinga ka. Another, Mr. President, papunta na yung taong inutusan ko. Sisiguraduhin ko sa iyo, babaha ang luha dyan sa bahay ninyo. May mga biktima po, Ginoong Pangulo, na pinadalhan ng mga bulaklak ng patay sa kanilang mismong tahanan. Ang iba naman tinatawagan ng halos 100 beses sa loob lamang ng isang araw hanggang sa wasakin ang kanilang kapayapaan ng isip at dignidad. Bilang isang ama, Ginoong Pangulo, nakakalungkot po dahil maging ang larawan ng kanilang mga anak, larawan ng mga bata ay ikinakalat para gamiting panakot sa kanilang mga magulang. Sa halagang 30,000 piso, ang isang biktima naman pong ito ay ginawan ng malalaswang peking larawan at walang habas na ipinapakalat online. Hindi pa sila nakontento, Ginoong Pangulo. May ilan po na gumawa pa ng mga peking dokumento na kunyari ay mula sa Philippine National Police. Idinikit ang larawan ng biktima at ikinalat sa iba't ibang Facebook groups upang palabasing siya ay isang kriminal. Walang tigil din po siya na pinapadalhan ng mga mensahe gaya po ng naka-flash sa screen. Hanggang walang pagpo-post ng payment dito ngayong araw, di naming papatulugin ang mga kamag-anak mo. Hindi ako titigil magpadala dyan sa address mo. Antayin mo, bulaklak ulit ng patay ang padadala ko para pagburulan ka na. Alam mo bang masisira buhay nito? Sisimulan ko na sa kanya. Makapal ka ha. Tingnan mo, mangyayari sa pamilya mo isa-isa. Mr. President, wala pong sibilisadong lipunan ang dapat tumanggap ng ganitong pananalita at pananakot, lalo na kung dahil lamang sa maliit na pagkakautang. Hindi na ito koleksyon, Ginoong Pangulo. Ito po ay paninira ng buhay. These are not isolated incidents, Mr. President. These are templates of abuse, repeated across platforms, repeated across victims, repeated because there is profit in terror. What makes these practices especially dangerous is the weaponization of personal data. Many OLAs require borrowers to grant access to their contact list, photo galleries, call logs, GPS location, messages, and even e-wallet and bank account details. Each time the application is opened, access is regranted until the borrower's entire digital life is exposed and used against them. Ginoong Pangulo, privacy is not a privilege, it is a right. Yet for these borrowers, privacy is often the first thing taken away. My dear colleagues, fellow senators, let us not forget the human cost of these practices. During our committee hearing, the president of an OLA victims group testified that aside from widespread anxiety and depression, there have been lives lost. Victims who succumbed to hopelessness and mental anguish caused by relentless harassment. There is no longer just a consumer issue. This is a public safety issue. This is a mental health issue. This is human rights issue. Ginoong Pangulo, walang interes ang mas mahalaga pa kaysa buhay at dignidad ng tao. The proposed measure draws a bright and non-negotiable line. It clearly defines and prohibits harassment or abuse and unfair debt collection practices, including threats of violence or criminal harm, use of insults, obscene or profane language, public shaming or unauthorized disclosure of names and personal information, repeated, unreasonable, or untimely communications, contacting employers, co-workers, or unrelated third parties, misrepresentation, deception, or intimidation, and collection of any amount other than the principal obligation without express authorization in the agreement. Importantly, Mr. President, this bill also benefits legitimate lenders by setting clear standards. It protects ethical lending companies from being lumped together with abusive operators, promotes fair competition in the lending industry, strengthens consumer confidence, and ensures that debt collection remains a lawful, professional, and transparent process. Mr. President, this bill does not prohibit collection. Uulitin ko po, this bill does not prohibit collection. It prohibits abuse. It imposes clear accountability on lending companies and their agents, provides real and enforceable penalties, and empowers regulatory agencies to act decisively. Let me emphasize, this bill does not excuse the non-payment of legitimate debts. What it demands is simple. If you collect lawfully. If you collect humanly. If you collect, you respect both the law and the person. Some may ask, do we really need another law? Mr. President, the answer is yes, because abusive operators have learned how to exploit the gaps and weaknesses in our existing laws. Without this measure, we allow fear to become a business strategy. Without this measure, we allow harassment to become normalized. Without this measure, we tell victims that their suffering is simply the cost of being poor. So, Mr. President, we are guided today by the voices of the victims themselves. Kasama po natin ngayon sa ating likuran. With us are members of an OLA victim support group and their lawyer who has been assisting them freely and voluntarily in seeking justice. Their courage reminds us that behind every statistic is a human story of fear and loss, but also of resilience. We thank the victims and those who stand with them for trusting this institution to act. Ginoong Pangulo, dear colleagues, our legacy will be defined not by the interest we protect, but by the people we choose to defend, especially the most vulnerable. In sponsoring this bill, we stand for dignity, we stand for fairness, we stand for the rule of law. Maasa po tayo ng suporta mula sa ating mga kasamahan sa mabilis na pagpasa ng palukalang batas na ito.